Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps a lot. And also keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy. Alright everyone, here we are after market close on Friday, September 3rd. I wanted to share my swing trade buys for the day. Just before we get started, a question that I have, if folks would like to comment below, if you're enjoying these swing trades, first of all, last night I put out a video to share my profit and loss sheet or statement in its entirety since I started doing these videos, which was only like 2 weeks into August. I think August 18th was the first one I put out, but I put out my August profit and loss. You can go watch the video from last night if you'd like to see how these trades performed over that course of time, and I'll be doing that monthly moving forward. So beginning of October, I'll do one for how these performed for September. Now, the other question is, I've had some folks ask if they could get these trades more in real time, whether that means literally like as I'm looking for the trades and then executing the trades, or at least during market hours having a live stream and I could talk through the trades that I did as opposed to a recorded video that you then watch after the close of the day. And so I would like to know in the comments if folks would find that interesting, if that would be helpful to go through these during market hours as opposed to after the fact. I could still record that and put it out as a video after, but for folks who wanted or are able to tune in during market hours, you could catch it then. So if that would be interesting, please let me know in the comments below. I'm looking into some ways to potentially do that, and would like to know, how much effort I should put into it if folks would actually want to do that or not. Okay. So 5 buys today. Yes, 5 buys today. First one, Carnival Cruise Lines, CCL. Basically what I saw here on the daily chart is, let me get rid of these MAs and then we'll pull them back in a minute, because what I was actually looking at was this channel. So this is developing a channel. Let's pull this out a little bit and then zoom it back in here. So a couple of things here. It's been in this channel since July 15th, and confirmed the lower bound on July 20th, confirmed the upper bound on the 21st, and then has been batting itself in between ever since. Now, a couple of things. One, this gives, because it's toward the bottom of the channel right now, it gives me a really nice opportunity to jump out and stop this loss really quickly if it does go against me. Of course, I could wake up and it's down 20% in a day, and that would blow that theory out of the water. But setting that sort of black swan event aside, it does give me the opportunity to, if it falls through the bottom bound of this channel and starts moving away from it, then that would be an indication for me to jump out. I would be fine letting it dip below the lower bound of the channel if it very quickly recovers and comes back in. But if it falls below and then starts increasing its distance away, then that would be an indication for me to go ahead and stop loss. Now, the other thing is, you see this 2241, this red horizontal line right here? That is, to me, a really good support zone that's lining up with the bottom of the channel. So if it comes down and it can't hold that and it flips that from support to resistance, that would be another indication of a really good place to stop loss. You see that has previous support here, and resistance, and support and resistance, and support and resistance, support that flipped to resistance there. And then if we draw this back, you see this resistance that flipped to support here that allowed this run up at that point. Now, on the other side of things, what I look for potentially a place at which to watch this go toward the upper bound of the channel would be is 2469, this green horizontal line. You see that's where it previously topped out here, and then if we draw this back, it was previous support here, support here, support here, and resistance that flipped to support here. And so to me, this is another really strong zone. It was even resistance back here. A really strong zone that if it can get itself over that 2469, then we could really see it move up pretty strongly from that point on. But to my mind, we have growing volume in general here. Now, granted, that was when it was retracing or drawing down, but now that it started to recover and stair step up a little bit, that volume is holding pretty steady, and the MACD all told is inching up and is sitting right around the baseline at the moment. So this is mostly a channel play with some key supply and demand zones surrounding the price action at the moment. Now, if we do pull in the MAs really quickly, we see an interesting sort of setup here. Underneath the 200 MA, so it's technically in a bearish trend, but we see the 50 having just had a bearish crossover below the 200, but we see the purple 20 looking like it could, if we get a green day on Tuesday, since the market is closed on Monday, we could see the stock have a bullish crossover, the 20 over the 50, even though it just had a bearish crossover, and it could then sort of have a nice potential for a breakout there. I don't know if it would actually break out or if it just continues to move up the channel, but it's an interesting confluence of events. And I thought, given the fact that there's this 2241 zone and there's a channel, it gives me ample opportunity to stop loss outs and not take too big of a hit if it does go against me. But I thought it would be worth the risk for the time being. Now, Lee, one that I've been watching for a while, and what sort of convinced me to come into this one, you see it's mostly been just consolidating slightly down here, sitting right around or on top of a bunch of the MAs. The 200 sitting right here, the 20 is right underneath, and now it's testing the 50. So it's trying to get additional support. It has supported the 20, but it's trying to get support of the 50. Now, taking the MAs out of it, what I see here is this candlestick from yesterday and the candlestick from today. We see yesterday's low was $30.47. Today's low, $30.10. So definitely a lower low today. But we see the MACD coming yesterday toward the bottom there. If you look over here at the yellow, as I hover, you'll see minus 0.02, and now today minus just 0.00. So that means that the MACD is rising while the candlesticks or the price action is making lower lows. That is a bullish divergence. Oh boy, Daniel, it's been a long week. That is a bullish divergence, hence the green square that I have here. And that could be an indication that there's some bullish action that is lying in wait and may come to pass next week. So that's what I'm going to be looking for. I don't know. It's certainly not a guaranteed thing. Nothing is, but it was enough of an indication to me that it was worth an entry points. If it does go against me, I'll be looking to cut loss at a close below the 20 MA here if it loses support of that. On the PayPal is my next one. Now, a couple of things here. It's been trading in this lower range for quite a while, since August. So basically for all of August, it traded in this range. And then right at the end of August, it started to jump out. And what we can see is this having breakout potential when this sort of breaking out of a range happens. And so I'm looking to see if it started to break out and now pulled back a little bit, and then today started to kind of ground itself in prep for this breakout. Now the other thing is, you see here, this was on this day, we had a low of 286.36 and then 285.25, so lower low the following day, yet the MACD went from minus 0.02 to plus 0.34. So quite a big bump up on the MACD, even though the price action was making a lower low. So again, bullish divergence there. And we see that followed up with a solid green candlestick today. And so what I'm looking for is to see if this breakout is going to occur. Now, the other thing is there's this gap here. That's what this blue box is. And that's, could get filled. That said, that's not that exciting. I'd be looking for more of a breakout than that. But this could, just in and of itself, bring the price to about 296, 297 just to fill that gap. But, a $7 move in a stock that's trading near 300 is not that big of a percent, but it could sort of like help kick things off, especially since we just broke out of this range. We have support over the 20. We're fighting to get support over the 50 MA, and we're overall in a bullish trend, being situated, $30 above the 200 MA. So that's PayPal. The last two, NNDM. NNDM, I did a video the other night, just a couple of nights ago, on it, so you can go back and look at that if you'd like. Now, I know this is a bit of a mess. Let me take the MAs out of it at the moment, and let's just do the MACD, and then we can get rid of it. The MACD obviously has a bullish crossover. That bullish crossover is getting near the baseline at the moment and is continuing to pick up steam, meaning the real estate between the signal line and the MACD are continuing to increase. So that's a good sign. It's caught within two down channels here. a larger and a smaller, which if you watch the video, you'll see them there. You see this sort of brighter red is the larger, and you see that being here, right? And then the one that's inside is the sort of more muted red that I have, and that one is more particular to the very, very recent price action. Now it's about to, or it's looking like it may break itself out of this more confined down channel, and it's working really hard against that 663 zone, which is a supply and demand zone that if it gets support over there will obviously help it get out of this confined down channel and could then help it move itself out of this broader down channel, and then that could give it, you know, the oomph that it needs to continue on. Now if we bring the MAs into play here, it has pretty recent support over the 20 MA, which gives me sort of an exit strategy, right? If it closes below that, then that's an obvious place to take that stop loss. And it's fighting right now with the 50 MA. So if it can get support of the 50, then the 20 could have a bullish crossover of the 50, which would give it an additional lift and could lift it out of both of these downtrend channels and you know, sort of put it on its merry way a little bit. We'll see. Definitely a risky trade because it's definitely in a long-term bearish position or bearish trend, but we'll see what happens. This MACD though is holding up really strong through some, you know, pretty steep sell-offs, even though they were relatively short-lived, but it's holding pretty strong and now continuing to move bullish. So we'll see if that can maintain itself or not. And the last one, Zillow, bringing it in on a bit of a dip today, down almost 1.5%, but we have another bullish divergence here. The low on this day, 98.10. The low on this day, 96.92. Yet the MACD line went from minus 2.21 to minus 2.07. So because it's below the baseline, that's moving up. And that also means that it's very, very below the baseline. It has a lot of room to run up. If you see here, it's been beaten down quite a bit recently, right? This pretty long-term downtrend. Now, obviously, that means that I'm fighting the trend because you see the 200 MA here situated, oh gosh, like 25, 28 bucks above where the stock price is at the moment. So in a pretty bearish trend at the moment. But besides the bullish divergence, it also has fresh support over that 20 MA. So again, that both gives me a potential hope that that 20 MA can help add support and can help lift the stock up, but also gives me a clear stop loss if it closes below that MA and doesn't sort of have any indication that it's fighting with it at least, or is going to return back to support over the 20 MA. All right, folks, it's been a long week. I hope that you had a good trading week. And again, please drop a comment below if these would be interesting to see in real time as the market is open. And I could certainly still then publish it as a recording later in the day. That's no problem. So you could get the best of both worlds. But for folks who could tune in, I don't know if that would be interesting or not. But let me know. And check out that profit and loss video that I did last night. And you can see how these stocks performed in aggregate over the course of about 2.5 weeks, or I guess a week and a half to 2 weeks. And yeah, we'll keep trucking and moving along here. But I, of course, appreciate you watching. I hope you have a great weekend ahead, and I will see you in the next video.